powered by Riverside FM.
It was early in the morning in North Bristol. I was sat in bed holding a cup of coffee when I heard this. Initially, it struck me as odd, but I didn't think anything of it. Only on the second noise did I really pay attention. And by the third noise, I sprung into action. I'd realised what it was. The flame of a hot air balloon. I leapt up, looked out the rear window, and lo and behold, there, gliding effortlessly across the morning sky, was a white balloon. It looked a bit too far away to be the one which had generated the noise I'd heard, so I rushed downstairs to check if there were some others, and indeed saw several more balloons flying at low altitude. They had all come this way following the morning launch from the Bristol Balloon Fiesta. The Fiesta is an annual event that sees dozens of balloons launching from Ashton Court in Bristol. It is one of the largest of its kind in Europe. The largest in the world takes place in Albuquerque, New Mexico, with more than 500 balloons taking part and attracting thousands of people. Clearly, the grace of balloons gliding across the sky seems to be something that captures the public imagination. Indeed, ballooning has been popular since it first took off, pardon the pun. In 1783, the Montgolfier brothers had the first manned flight in Paris. In addition, on that occasion, the balloon's 3 passengers were a sheep, a duck, and a rooster, which, any way you spin it, surely sounds like the start of a joke. Punchlines on a postcard, please. This year's Bristol Balloon Fiesta was fortunate enough to receive calm conditions for the mornings when the mass ascents take place. Accordingly, the mass ascents went off really successfully. Indeed, they were only marred by one incident where a balloon crashed into the roof of a local primary school, although subsequent reports suggested that only minor damage had occurred, to the roof and not to the ballooners. In fact, the history of ballooning is littered with incidents of balloons landing in unusual and unintended places. In the 1990s, one landed in Windsor Castle grounds and had to be escorted out by security. In 2012, in Colorado, one landed on a moving car. Numerous balloons have landed on the runway at LAX airport over the years, causing disruption to air traffic. But perhaps one of the most interesting incidents occurred in 1910. 3 German balloonists set off from Munich. However, unexpectedly strong winds carried them across the entire country and over the North Sea. They briefly landed in water, where one passenger fell out, only to be rescued by a passing trawler. But the loss of this passenger made them lighter again, and the balloon rose, carrying them back high in the air. In fact, their journey carried on overnight, with the balloon drifting further north, before eventually crash landing near Kirkwall in the Orkney Islands. And, as it seems common with these incidents, they did indeed cause minor damage to a stone wall. One wonders how surprised the islanders would have been, and indeed, how the Germans got back home. What I take from these scenarios is that if you live near Albuquerque, you need to insure yourself against minor damage.